Joining me now is retired Army General Joseph Votel, the former commander of U.S. Central Command from 2016 to 2019. Colin Clark is director of research at the Sufan Group, a global intelligence and security consultancy. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. General, what do we know really about the damage done from these strikes? Because obviously the administration said, or at least Pete Hegseth did, that Iran's nuclear program is completely obliterated, while Iran says they secured their stockpiles beforehand and the damage at Fordo is fixable. So how and when will we know exactly what happened? When do we get that damage assessment?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, and good to be with you. Well, what we know is that we know some of the details on the bombs that were dropped. There's certainly been a lot of media coverage about the capabilities of the massive ordnance penetrator. And we also know from the Pentagon briefing this morning that these weapons were delivered with great accuracy and precision by really the top line bombers in the world. So when you put that together, I think we can conclude that they hit the targets they were supposed to go after. They probably achieved a good amount of the effects that they were desired to go after. Some of the initial assessments that we are seeing, I think, give us some indication that that may be true. But as has been noted by the chairman and many others, it will take some time for the entire intelligence community to kind of look at all the different sources of intelligence and reach a much more fulsome assessment of the damage to the Iranian nuclear weapons program.
So calling it obliterated may be premature?
Well, I'm, that's the word the secretary chose. I'm sure on indications, at least from some of what we've seen, it sure looks like it had some devastating effects. So again, I think we'll have to wait and see before we have a more fulsome assessment.
Colin, given what we know, how close was Iran to possessing a deliverable nuclear weapon? I have heard and read conflicting things from different people who should be in the know. U.S. intel has not said that Iran was imminently close, a conclusion that the president publicly dismissed in recent days. Secretary Hegseth said just this morning that now had to be the time to take action. We just heard the explanation of why the opening presented potentially by the Israeli campaign. What do we know?
So, you're right. There's conflicting assessments, and I think the Israelis probably have a different assessment than we do. In fact, it may have been less about what the intelligence was telling and more about what the geopolitical conditions or factors on the ground favored. If you look at what's happened over the past 20 months since October 7th, Iran's been significantly weakened. So is its axis of resistance, its proxies throughout the region. It's lost the Assad regime, its vital partner in Syria. So all of these dominoes that have been falling have really kind of set up quite nicely for what we've seen over the past week and a half, with this really being kind of the culmination of, as the Secretary of Defense said, a long-standing planning campaign to think about this really, really wicked problem in the Middle East.
And we know, General, that the administration has said it didn't just plan for this, but obviously for the aftermath. What about Iran's threats, given the fact their military resources and capabilities, we do know, have been degraded from strikes and the ongoing conflict with Israel? How much can Iran do right now?
Well, I think we have to take Iran seriously. There, as you point out, there certainly has been some degradation of their capabilities, of their command and control, of their delivery methods, and they've expended a large amount of their available ordnance here just over the last 8 or 9 days. But the fact of the matter is Iran still has capabilities. They still probably have missiles. They have drones. They have a very capable Quds Force maritime force that could move into the Gulf and cause problems. They could mine the Straits of Hormuz. They've got the remnants of a proxy network out there that can do a lot of damage. So we have to take this very, very seriously. And I was struck this morning by how much both the secretary and the chairman talked about this aspect of it. Not only the strikes that we did, but the focus that was put on force protection of our bases, of our people, of our other diplomatic and other American interests that are in the region. So I'm sure we're taking this very seriously, as we should.
Colin, what about those proxy networks? The Houthis in Yemen, which are closely aligned with Iran, are vowing to target American forces in the Red Sea. At the same time, again, like Iran itself, those proxy forces have been weakened in recent years. What will you be watching for?
So this is what I've been thinking the most about the Iranian response, and I think it could be multi-tiered. Obviously, we're mostly concerned about U.S. bases in the region, Iraq and Syria, as some of the anchors alluded to before this segment. We're worried about, the Houthis striking out against Gulf allies, as they did in June 2019. We saw the Saudis' energy facilities hit, the waterways, as General Votel mentioned. I'm particularly concerned about what happens outside of the Middle East as well, whether that's sleeper cells on U.S. soil linked to Hezbollah. There's been a number of individuals arrested over the years conducting surveillance of potential U.S. targets, and then capabilities elsewhere. If you look at what Hezbollah did in Latin America in the 1990s, attacking Israeli and Jewish targets, they've got a worldwide network. They've been active in Europe, also blowing up a bus in Bulgaria, again with Israeli tourists. So this is something that we need to take extremely seriously. And I do think the next 48, 72 hours are going to be quite telling. But again, the Iranians can sit there, they can wait for months to strike back. So it's something that I know the intelligence community is preparing for. And I think, it's something to be on high alert for.
General Joseph Votel and Colin Clark, thank you both.